Assalamu alaikum. This is Shauruk Mujumdar welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Janaza of Martyr Sharif Usman Hadi to be held at South Plaza of Btv-Chattogram at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. Special prayers offered in mosques and other places of worship seeking forgiveness of Martyr Usman Hadi's soul. State mourning day tomorrow on the death of Usman Hadi. Interim government condemns all acts of violence. Political parties, students and mass people protest Inkilab Moncho spokesperson Usman Hadi's death, demanding quick arrest of criminals. The 29th founding anniversary of Bangladesh Television Chattogram Center celebrated. Authority determined to develop the channel for public welfare. US sanctions 2 ICC judges while Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu announces $35 billion gas deal with Egypt. And New Zealand lead by 465 runs at end of second day of third test against West Indies at Mount Maunganui. Those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. The body of Sharif Usman Hadi, frontline fighter of the July mass uprising and spokesperson of Inkilab Moncho, arrived in the country from Singapore this evening. The Namazi Janaza of Shahid Sharif Usman Hadi will be held at 2 p.m. tomorrow at the South Plaza of the Btv-Chattogram Bhavan in the capital. Earlier, Biman Bangladesh Airlines flight BG585 carrying the body of Sharif Usman Hadi landed at Hazrat Shahjalan International Airport at 5:48 p.m. On December 12th, after Friday prayers, miscreants shot Usman Hadi while he was in a rickshaw in the Bijayanagar area of the capital. Usman Hadi was a prospective independent candidate for the Dhaka 8 constituency in the upcoming 13th National Parliamentary election. Sharif Usman Hadi was a voice that refused compromise and a face that came to symbolize the July mass uprising. Usman Hadi, who rose to national prominence through his fearless presence on the streets, his sharp interventions on campuses, and his unwavering stance in televised debates. At a time of political uncertainty, his words and actions resonated with a generation demanding change. From religious upbringing in Jhalakati to his political awakening at the University of Dhaka, Usman Hadi's journey reflected a deliberate choice to stand outside traditional party lines while remaining deeply engaged in public struggle. The July 2024 uprising elevated him from an activist to one of the movement's most recognizable leaders. His life was cut short before that struggle could reach its next chapter. Here is our reporter, Ghulam Murtuja's desk report with Sharif Usman Hadi's biography.
জান দেব তবু জুলাই দেব না। জুলাই গণঅভ্যুত্থানের ধারক শরীফ ওসমান বিন হাদি, যিনি প্রতিবাদকে নিয়েছিলেন জীবনের শপথ হিসেবে। ঝালকাঠির নলছিটি উপজেলার এক ধর্মভীরু মুসলিম পরিবারে জন্ম তার। বাবা মাওলানা আব্দুল হাদি ছিলেন মাদ্রাসা শিক্ষক ও স্থানীয় ইমাম। 6 ভাই বোনের মধ্যে সর্বকনিষ্ঠ ওসমান হাদি বেড়ে ওঠেন ধর্মীয় শৃঙ্খলা, নৈতিকতা আর সামাজিক দায়িত্ববোধের পরিবেশে। শিক্ষা জীবনের শুরু মাদ্রাসায়। ঝালকাঠি এনএস কামিল মাদ্রাসা থেকে আলিম শেষ করে উচ্চশিক্ষার জন্য পাড়ি জমান রাজধানীতে। ঢাকা বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ের রাষ্ট্রবিজ্ঞান বিভাগে ভর্তি হন তিনি। এখানেই গড়ে ওঠে তার রাজনৈতিক দর্শন ও নেতৃত্বের ভিত্তি। বিশ্ববিদ্যালয় জীবন থেকেই তিনি ছিলেন স্পষ্টভাষী ও প্রতিবাদী। কোনো মূলধারার রাজনৈতিক দলে যুক্ত না থেকেও রাজনীতি, সংস্কৃতি ও লেখালেখির মধ্য দিয়ে নিজের অবস্থান জানান দেন। একসময় প্রাইভেট পড়ানো, কোচিং সেন্টারে শিক্ষকতা, সবশেষ একটি বেসরকারি বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ে শিক্ষক হিসেবে কাজ করলেও রাজপথের টান তাকে থামাতে পারেনি। 2024 সালের জুলাই গণঅভ্যুত্থান ওসমান হাদির জীবনের মোড় ঘোরানো অধ্যায়। ছাত্র জনতার আন্দোলনে সক্রিয় অংশগ্রহণ, রামপুরা এলাকায় সমন্বয়কের দায়িত্ব পালন, রাজপথে ঝাঁঝালো বক্তব্য, সব মিলিয়ে দ্রুতই তিনি হয়ে ওঠেন আন্দোলনের মুখ।
একটা কথা বলি, আপনারা সবাই আমাদের ভাই। জুলাইয়ের সাথে যদি গাদ্দারি করেন, আমার বাপেও আমার বাপ না, ঠিক? আমার মা আমার মা না, আমার সন্তান না, ঠিক? আমরা শহীদ পরিবারের সাথে ওয়াদা করেছি, কমপক্ষে 20 জন মা আমাদের মাথায় হাত রেখেছে। শহীদ আবু সাইদের মা রেখেছে, শহীদ আব্দুল্লাহ বিন জাহিদের মা আমাদের মাথায় হাত রেখেছে।
জুলাইয়ের অভিজ্ঞতা থেকেই জন্ম নেয় রাজনৈতিক সাংস্কৃতিক প্ল্যাটফর্ম ইনকিলাব মঞ্চ। এই মঞ্চের মুখপাত্র হিসেবে ওসমান হাদি ঘোষণা দেন সব ধরনের আধিপত্যবাদ ও স্বৈরতন্ত্রের বিরুদ্ধে অবস্থান নিয়ে ইনসাফ ভিত্তিক রাষ্ট্র গঠনের।
আল্লাহ যতদিন বাঁচিয়ে রাখবে, স্বাধীনতা, সার্বভৌমত্ব, ইনসাফ এবং সততার জন্য লড়াই করব। এই লড়াই আমাদের জিহাদ ইনশাআল্লাহ।
আওয়ামী লীগ নিষিদ্ধের দাবি, জুলাই শহীদদের স্বীকৃতি, রাষ্ট্র সংস্কার, সব ইস্যুতেই তিনি ছিলেন সরব। প্রতিবাদের ভাষা শুধু বক্তৃতায় নয়, কবিতাতেও খুঁজে নিতেন তিনি। তার প্রিয় কবিতা ছিল কাজী নজরুল ইসলামের বিদ্রোহী।
আমি দুর্বা, আমি ভেঙে করি সব চুরমা, আমি অনিয়ম শৃঙ্খল, আমি দলে যাই যত বন্ধন, যত নিয়ম কানুন শৃঙ্খল, আমি মানি না কোনো আইন, আমি ভরাদারি করি ভরাডুবি, আমি টর্পেডো, আমি ভিন ভাসমান মাইল, আমি ধূমচটি, আমি এ লোকে সে ঝড় কালো বৈশাখী, বলবীর, আমি চির উন্নতশীল।
এই আপোষহীন অবস্থানের কারণে বারবার হুমকির মুখেও পড়েন তিনি। নিজেই জানান, দেশীয় ও বিদেশি নম্বর থেকে হত্যার হুমকি, পরিবারকে নিয়ে শঙ্কার বার্তা।
আর যদি আমি মরে যাই, আমি শহীদ হয়ে যাই, আমার ডান পাশের ভাই বোনেরা এই লড়াই যতদিন বেঁচে থাকবে ততদিন চালিয়ে নেবে ইনশাআল্লাহ।
ঢাকা ৮ আসন থেকে স্বতন্ত্র প্রার্থী হিসেবে ত্রয়োদশ জাতীয় সংসদ নির্বাচনে অংশ নেওয়ার ঘোষণা দেন ওসমান হাদি। ভিন্নধর্মী প্রচারণা, চা সিঙ্গারের আড্ডা, সরাসরি মানুষের সঙ্গে কথা, সবই নজর কাড়ে। কিন্তু ভোটের মাঠে নামার আগেই থেমে যায় তার পথ চলা। 12 ডিসেম্বর বিজয়নগরে গুলিবিদ্ধ হন তিনি। চিকিৎসার জন্য সিঙ্গাপুর নেওয়া হলেও 18 ডিসেম্বর রাতে মৃত্যুবরণ করেন এই তরুণ নেতা। স্বল্প সময়ের রাজনৈতিক জীবনে ওসমান হাদি হয়ে উঠেছেন প্রতিবাদী রাজনীতির প্রতীক।
এই যাত্রাকেও থামাতে পারবে না।
গোলাম মুর্তুজা, বিটিভি নিউজ।
Special prayers were offered today after Jummah prayers in mosques across the country, seeking the forgiveness of the soul of July revolutionary martyr Sharif Usman Hadi, spokesperson of Inkilab Moncho. Earlier on Thursday, the Ministry of Religious Affairs requested the arrangement of special prayers nationwide on Friday for the forgiveness of Sharif Usman Hadi's soul. In this context, special prayers were held in all mosques across the country, and at convenient times, special prayers according to respective faiths were also organized at temples, churches and pagodas. The Islamic Foundation, along with the Hindu Religious Welfare Trust, Buddhist Religious Welfare Trust and Christian Religious Welfare Trust, took necessary measures in this regard. On Thursday, Sharif Usman Hadi, spokesperson of Inkilab Moncho, and a prospective independent candidate for the Dhaka 8 constituency, passed away while undergoing treatment at Singapore General Hospital. The government declared a one-day state mourning on Saturday for the untimely death of martyr Sharif Usman Hadi. On the day, the national flag will be hoisted at half-mast in all government, semi-government, autonomous offices, educational institutions, government and private buildings, and Bangladesh missions abroad. Meanwhile, the interim government has issued a statement centering the current situation in the country. In the statement, the government has urged all citizens of Bangladesh to resist all forms of mob violence committed by a few fringe elements. The government strongly and unequivocally condemn all acts of violence, intimidation, arson and destruction of properties. The statement said this is a critical moment in the nation's history when we are making a historic democratic transition. The government cannot and must not allow it to be derailed by those few who thrive on chaos and reject peace. The upcoming elections and referendum are not merely political exercises. They are a solemn national commitment. The promise is inseparable from the dream for which Shahid Sharif Usman Hadi gave his life. Honoring his sacrifice and memory demands restraint, responsibility, and abiding commitment to reject hatred. To the journalists of the Daily Star, Prothomalo, and New Age, the statement said, "The government is stand with them. Government is deeply sorrow for the terror and violence they have endured." The statement said the nation has witnessed their courage and tolerance in the face of terror. Attacks on journalists are attacks on truth itself. The government promises them full justice. The government wholeheartedly condemn lynching of a Hindu man in Mymensingh. There is no space for such violence in New Bangladesh. The perpetrators of this heinous crime will not be spared. The statement said at this critical hour, government call upon every citizen to honor Shahid Hadi by rejecting and resisting violence, incitement and hatred. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus has said that the attack on the country's two leading media houses was tantamount to an attack on free media itself. The attack on the country's two leading media outlets is tantamount to an attack on free media. This incident has created a major obstacle to the country's democratic progress and the path of independent journalism, he said. The chief advisor made the remarks while speaking over the phone with the editors of Prothomalo and the Daily Star following the attack on the two media outlets on Thursday night, according to a statement from the chief advisor's press wing this afternoon. Expressing deep sympathy to Prothomalo editor Motiur Rahman and the Daily Star editor Mahfuz Anam, Professor Yunus said this unwanted and barbaric attack on their institutions and journalists has deeply shocked him. In this difficult time, the government stands beside them. During the phone conversation, he assured the editors of full security for them and their media organizations, along with all necessary support. The chief advisor also said that he would meet the editors in person very soon. Protests and demonstrations are intensifying across the country alongside widespread grief over the death of Inqilab Monch spokesperson Sharif Usman Hadi. Students and public have taken to the streets in Dhaka and other parts of the country demanding justice of Hadi murder. From university campuses to key road intersections, protesters are chanting the same slogan, asserting that this was not a general death, but an attempt to permanently silence our voice. Protesters said Sharif Usman Hadi was a courageous voice against injustice. His death is unacceptable under any circumstances. They demanded the immediate arrest of the killers and their punishment. Agitating students and people said Hadi had been targeted because of his uncompromising stance against wrongdoing. Meanwhile, the government has announced a one-day state mourning over the death of Sharif Usman Hadi. The chief advisor made the announcement in an address to the nation on Thursday night. Bangladesh Television-Chattogram Centre has celebrated its 29th anniversary through various programs today. The journey of the centre began on December 19th of 1996. A discussion meeting was organised at the centre's drama studio on the occasion of the day. Bangladesh Television Director General Muhammad Mahabubul Alam was the chief guest on the occasion. He said, "All BTV centres are for the public welfare of the country." The Director General said commercial channels host programs with renowned artists, but Bangladesh Television is a platform to provide opportunities to artists from remote areas of the country. He said BTV will not be lured for false popularity as a channel will be built with a grand plan for public welfare. Btv-Chattogram Centre General Manager Muhammad Imam Hussain delivered the welcome address in the program. He said the channel will face the challenges of the future successfully. The center will further create opportunities for public welfare. BTV News editor Muhammad Jahidul Islam and all the branch heads of the center and officials and employees were present at the meeting. President of the Radio and Television Artists Association, Abdul Manan Rana, General Secretary of the Chattogram Metropolitan Journalists Union, Saleh Noman, Member Secretary of the Chattogram Metropolitan Unit of Justice, Mamunur Rashid Shipan, artist Farid Bangabashi, poet Nazma Akhtar, and other artists addressed the event. Later, prayers were offered for the forgiveness of the soul of martyr Sharif Usman bin Hadi. Now, international news. The United States has imposed sanctions on 2 judges of the International Criminal Court, the ICC. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced the sanctions on Thursday. As part of continued American support for Israel, the U.S. government has taken punitive measures against judges of the Hague-based court in the Netherlands. In November last year, the ICC issued arrest warrants against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on charges of war crimes. Since then, the United States has repeatedly threatened to take action against the ICC. Last week, Israel filed an appeal against the ICC arrest warrants, but the court rejected the appeal. In a statement, the U.S. Secretary of State said the 2 judges from Mongolia and Georgia had ruled against Israel's application at the ICC, and sanctions have therefore been imposed on them. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced a gas deal worth $35 billion with Egypt. Speaking on Wednesday evening, he said Israel would supply gas to Egypt through an American company under the agreement. Netanyahu made the announcement at a time when the United States is pressing for a meeting between the top leaders of the 2 countries. In a televised statement, Netanyahu described the deal as the largest gas agreement in Israel's history. He said the value of the agreement is 112 billion shekels, or approximately $34.6 billion. U.S. energy company Chevron will handle the supply of gas from Israel to Egypt. The Trump administration has announced a huge arms sale worth around $11 billion to Taiwan, which includes advanced rocket launchers, self-propelled howitzers, and a variety of missiles. This package, which still needs to be approved by the U.S. Congress, will be the second arms sale to Taiwan since Donald Trump returned to the White House in January. China, which sees self-governed Taiwan as a breakaway province, condemned the move, saying it severely undermines China's sovereignty, security, and territorial integrity. Taiwan's defense ministry thanked the U.S. and said the deal would help the island in rapidly building robust deterrence capabilities. The U.S. has formal ties with Beijing rather than Taiwan and has walked a tight diplomatic rope for decades, but it remains a powerful ally of Taiwan's and the island's biggest arms supplier. The latest arms sale has angered Beijing, which has in recent years ramped up pressure over Taiwan with military drills and regular incursions into its waters and airspace. Back to national news. An institutional symposium on medical education and research was held at Chattogram International Medical, Dental and Nursing College. Religious advisor Dr. A.F.M. Khalid Hussain was present as the chief guest in this symposium. Calling upon the doctors to awaken patriotism through medical service, he said, if there is fear of God and ideals within oneself, this corrupt structure will change. He said the judiciary, executive branch and administration should be brought under the purview of idealistic people. Chattogram International Medical College Principal Professor Dr. Muhammad Tipu Sultan presided over, while Professor Kaji Din Muhammad Shah Jahan, Professor Dr. Muhammad Muslimuddin, Professor Muhammad Nurun Nabi, among others, addressed the occasion.